If Harpie's Featherstorm doesn't get hit on any of the upcoming ban lists, then I fear this deck might become a menace. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome if you're new here. I'm Don and today we'll be taking a look at Radiant Typhoon, the pure version. There's a lot of ways to play the deck. You can play it as an engine or pure, as we're doing here, with a lot of spell cards, quick play spell cards. In Burst Protocol, we'll be getting 2 new cards, a Link Monster, which is WoW, and a new quick play spell. Pretty meh, but as I was saying earlier, if Featherstorm doesn't get hit, then this might just be a menace. It's already pretty much a top deck contender with the upcoming Link 2. So with the fact that Featherstorm is still in the game, then this might just push it over the edge. Now let's take a look at the new cards that we'll be getting. So the first one would be the Sea Spirit. Requires 2 Radiant Typhoon monsters. On Link Summon, it adds you MST from your deck or graveyard. What do you expect? And while it's on the field, you can target 2 face-up monsters, including a Radiant Typhoon monster, and place them in their owner's spell and trap zone as continuous spell cards. Outside of Snake Eyes? Really? Okay. The most important effect of this card is this one. If a quick play spell card is activated, except during the damage step, you can place 1 Radiant Typhoon continuous trap from your deck or graveyard face up on your field. Before this card was out, sometimes you might have an issue where you have the trap card and the MSTs, but your opponent aren't really activating spells and traps, or they don't really have a spells and trap to activate. So you're stuck with a choice of either popping your MST or popping the trap card. Why would you pop the MST? But then again, you might be thinking, why would you pop your trap card? So with a card like this, you can always target the trap card to pop, then chain the trap to negate a face-up card in your opponent's field. And once the trap is destroyed, it has the effect to set back itself. But seeing that this card will be on the field, you can always use its effect to place the trap face up again. And then when you use the second MST to target the trap again and negate something, you can use the trap's effect to set itself back to the field. So this is why this card is so key in the deck. It's just sad that it's a 0 attack monster. Also, there's something that most persons might not realize, but the trap isn't really a hard once per turn. I'm talking the first effect. So if you manage to use the first effect to shuffle 3 quick play spells, including a Radiant Typhoon into the deck to draw the card and then gain the 300 attack and defense, if you destroy it and then place it back on the field, you can use the effect again because it's technically a different card. So you can get another boost and another draw. The second effect is pretty obvious. It says once per chain, but this one, it says once per turn. So most persons might not notice that. All right, so for the next new card, it's pretty much a monster reborn for the level 6 and lower monsters, which are the monsters in the deck that don't have a graveyard reborn effect. All right, so a little refresher for those who don't really know what the cards do. We have 3 Eldam. It adds you a Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck to your hand. All of the small Radiant Typhoons have the ability to special summon themselves to the field if your opponent controls no spell or trap, or if you have Mystical Space Typhoon in your graveyard, which is this card. We call it MST. As for the next card, we have Swen, which adds you Radiant Typhoon spells or traps or MST. Pretty much all of them add you MST. Then we have Megala. It doesn't add you anything. However, if you activated a Radiant Typhoon quick play spell or a MST, you can special summon a Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck. So you can use her to beam out the big monsters. Then we have Crosea, which if you activate a quick play spell, you can special summon this card from the hand, then add a Radiant Typhoon card and or a MST from your deck or graveyard to the hand. It locks you into win. Megala also locks you into win. The next card is our Resident Monster Negate, which is the card on the trap card. If you have MST in the grave, you can negate an opponent's monster. If 2 MSTs in the grave, it negates and destroys. And now moving on to the next form of interruption, which is the Phonics. If a quick play spell is activated, you can target 2 cards on your opponent's field, shuffle them into the deck. Also, these 2 cards have a unique effect where if you activated MST while they're in the grave, they can reborn themselves. So that's something to remember. As for the spell, we already covered this. This one allows you to Foolish Burial a Radiant Typhoon monster from your deck or add MST. All of these spells can add MST, so we'll ignore that going forward. We have Chant. It adds you a level 4 lower Radiant Typhoon monster. And Vision, which is a draw 2. It works pretty much like the Allure of Darkness. Once you draw 2, you can either discard a Radiant Typhoon card or a quick play spell. So this is why like Sky Strikers are playing it and other decks that has a lot of quick play spells. And 3 MST. We also cover the trap card, so the non-engine is pretty self-explanatory. Now for the extra deck, the most important card to play is the Sea Spirit. The rest of them just either go along with the spell cards that we're playing or they're just additional cards. Oh, you can steal your opponent's banish cards with this guy. So that's cool. The most important card in the side deck is Featherstorm and Roll. Let's get into some replays. If you made it this far in the video, remember you can leave a like, that'll be appreciated. And if you want to see more videos from me, you can check out the channel. Then if you want to see more videos from me in the future, you can subscribe to the channel. And with that, let's get back into the video. I don't even remember what I was playing against, but I know that I went first. The thing about this deck is if you go first, depending on what you open, you might auto win, to be honest. As you can see, they ash my Eldem, so I couldn't add the Corsair, but that doesn't matter. I have a quick play spells and the Megala. So that's pretty much what you can do by just having these two cards. So I decided I'm going to set up a monster negate first. The rest could come afterwards. And Eldem also adds you a monster, so you can add the Great Flame. So yeah, it's pretty, I don't even know what to say. It's basically also win because we're playing against dinos. I was saving the negate for like in case they had the misc. Surprisingly, they didn't have any hand traps, so I was just blasting through, drawing two and everything. And once I got the Corsair on field, I'm pretty much off to it. So the old goal of the Pure is to get up the trap with at least 2 MST and then have the monster negate. So you see, I just used that to pop the trap and then just in order to summon the monster negate. And I didn't even bother to add back the MST from the grave because having the MST in the grave means that her negate is live. So that's the thing. And playing against a deck like this that has a counter trap that's really disgusting is annoying. So I might just like stop a lot of the effects. And something to note is when you're playing a deck, remember to activate the continuous trap in the draw phase. So in case they activate anything that you want to negate on the field, you have it active, because I don't think you can use its negate effect the same time that you activated the card. Alright, this might just be the last one for today. And we went second. Well, not went second. We pretty much lost the dice roll, so we're going second. And once I saw the branded, I was like, well, my favorite deck versus my new favorite deck. I don't know how to feel about it. However, seeing the Super Bowl in my hand, I was like, it doesn't really matter because I'm prepared. You know, I'm prepared. And pairing these Super Poly with something like the Phonics is really good because I can like shuffle back too. And when I realized that he set the Fallen of Virtuous, which obviously it would because it's branded, I pretty much started panicking because I'm like, I don't want to summon the guy and then they just pop it. But then I realized I was worrying about the wrong thing, to be honest. I even summoned the guy before I used the Mud Dragons effect, which was pretty crazy. And he used the Fallen of Virtuous. I'm pretty sure he was probably trying to, you know, gate or something. But, you know, they were doing a lot. They were doing a lot. And once it feels clear, I just pretty much go into like the actual combo. Luckily, he had a spell trap remaining, so I can just pop it and get like the 2 cards that I need. And strange enough, I don't even want to spoil it for you. Let's just watch it play out. But it's really interesting what happened. It's just, you know, really amazing what one Ash can do. And I was thinking he was going to use the Synchro to return my Phonics to the deck, but returning the trap card is pretty interesting. Very interesting, to be honest. And the card at that top deck was pretty much MSD, and I was thinking about like, how would this help? I was saying maybe I should, pop the spell card and then shuffle back the Albas. But then I was like, nah, I should wait. But seeing that he did that before my turn ended, I'm like, it's a free win. I can just pop that in the draw phase, shuffle back the 2 cards, and the Cartesian in the hand is pretty much not going to do anything if he doesn't draw anything good. So yeah, plus all of his cards activate in the main phase. He can't really dodge. Alright, so that's pretty much it for today, guys, and see you guys next time.